Hello, class. My name is Jonathan Slezak, and this is my presentation on internet restrictions on children under 13. Breaking news: 13-year-old commits suicide over social media post. This could be a news headliner that you would be able to find due to social media's danger. I mainly chose this topic because I find the topic interesting. I've always relied on the internet for my schoolwork and my hobbies. I personally believe that there should be some form of internet restriction because of their age and not being mentally ready to face the internet. This topic is important because social media has some major drawbacks that people do not think about that can affect anyone, especially children in particular. I'll do a quick overview of the slides. We'll have possible ways to restrict internet access, depression and suicide, social media censorship, the snag application, not everything on the internet is real, internet censorship and its relationship to government, uncensored inappropriate content. The decision. One of the reasons I chose this topic in particular is all the reports on the news about how people are taking their lives over social media and the amount of people that go into depression because of what people think of them on the internet. I want to present these issues. The current thesis is children under 13 should have some form of internet restrictions due to the amount of inappropriate content and scams, along with the internet being a cause of depression and suicide. I'll go over the main points one more time. Possible ways to restrict internet access, depression and suicide, social media censorship, the snag application, not everything on the internet is real, internet censorship with government, uncensored inappropriate content. Possible ways to restrict internet access. There are multiple ways to restrict internet access to children under the age of 13. One way is a content controlling system that can determine the age range of the user and restrict content for certain age ranges. So one example is this is one example that always happened in my school. YouTube, for example. YouTube is always restricted to everyone, but in this case, you can have any website restricted to a certain age, so that only people of that age will do it, will be able to access that website. A content control system is more effective than a snag system due to the content controlling system's ability to keep up and keep track of a large amount of people, mainly because of AI. Depression and suicide. Social media restrictions on kids could benefit them by preventing them from getting depressed. One reason why social media should be restricted to children is because they do not have the mental fortitude to deal with cyberbullying, for example, on the internet. Cyberbullying victims are more likely to commit suicide or hurt themselves. This is one reason for internet restrictions on children. So the main difference between like cyberbullying and just bullying in general is with just bullying in general, you could just get away like you're safe at your house. The bullies aren't going to go to your house to try and mess with you. But on the internet, they're pretty much everywhere because everyone's carrying a phone on them, or at least some sort of electronic device. So in a way, they're always going to be with you. Part 2. Despite the reduced prevalence, cyberbullying still significantly affects students' well-being in terms of problems, self-esteem issues, and social anxiety. Another reason there should be an internet restriction is because of social media. One of the issues with kids on social media is that social media is proven to give kids depression, possibly, and can even lead to suicide. Social media is proven to impact the mental health of teenagers and children alike. Our next topic will be social media censorship. Social media censorship It is mainly used to remove content that could be a danger for a country. Countries like the United States takes down posts on social media that can be seen as a danger to people or to government. Social media is dangerous for children because it's a very volatile environment. People often argue about everything and set unrealistic expectations that children will never be able to reach, making them feel that they are not good enough. Social media is a central platform for issues like sexting, sexual harassment, depression, and suicide, and should most certainly have some form of age restriction. The snag application is most commonly used in schools to monitor students' laptops given to them through the school and restrict access to certain websites. This application can work in society, but is best used in a smaller setting like schools. Although the snag application is a proven method used in schools to limit internet access, the snag application would have difficulty keeping up with the new websites created daily. The snag method or application, when combined with other internet restriction methods, like requesting websites to be taken down by internet browsers like Google, for example, could make up for the snag application's inability to keep up with the new websites created daily. Not everything on the internet is real. 90% of everything searching decreed is crap. With the vast amount of false information on the internet, being trying to figure out what is true and what is false is tough. And this is one issue of having children on the internet is they're generally unable to determine what is true and what is false because of that, children generally believe whatever they see. There are people whose whole purpose on the internet is to spread misinformation. Internet censorship with government. Internet censorship with government is a very interesting topic, as government can be seen as the only thing in the way of internet censorship in society. In some countries, internet censorship can be implemented effectively in countries like a monarchy or where there's one ruler. But in countries with democracy like the United States, where multiple people have the power, internet censorship goes against everything democracy stands for. Understanding the relationship between internet censorship and government is important because government is what determines how much people can restrict internet access. And to go back on the democracy and the monarchy statement, obviously it's a lot easier for like a king or an emperor nowadays to have internet censorship because they're the only one in power. But with democracy, where multiple people have power, you can't just implement that. And most democracies are based on freedom and letting the people do what they want within reason. But like the United States having a freedom of speech or freedom of the press. Uncensored and appropriate content. Uncensored and appropriate content is one, if not the biggest reason why internet restrictions need to be in place on children. Inappropriate content has gotten more and more frequent. Internet pornography has experienced tremendous growth in the past few years. In, 1999, there were about 170,000 pornographic websites, and that number now increases by 300 per day. Children under the age of 13 should definitely not be exposed to this type of content, as this type of content should be restricted to at least 18-year-olds at bare minimum. There can even be an argument for 21 plus. Best practice. Sources I used were Lo Vin Hui, Sexual Strategies Theory, Gender Exposure, and Support for Restriction of Pornography on the Internet. Marina, Mario Morena, addressing cyberbullying among junior high students, an in-depth examination of prevalence, impacts, and preventative strategies. In Tom Nicholas, the depth of expertise, the campaign against established knowledge and why it matters. I'll go over the key quotations one more time. And despite the reduced prevalence, cyberbullying still significantly affects students' well-being in terms of problems, self-esteem issues, social anxiety. Internet pornography has experienced tremendous growth in the last few years. In 1999, there were about 170,000 pornographic websites, and that number nearly increases by 300 per day. And then 90% of everything Sergeant Creed is crap. Problems encountered. I just wrote down that I really haven't been too much problem finding research material, as the research paper kind of forced me to find a bunch of the research material I needed. If anything, more of the issues that I'd have now would be making sure my presentation is at least 10 minutes long, because to be completely honest, I can run through this in about 5 minutes. And how I want to line everything up in the quotes I want to go use. If anything, that was the hardest part for me, as I want to make sure everything flows smoothly. And that is the end of my presentation.